What's up, guys? It's Devin of That Challenger. Welcome to Beyond You. Now, I am done. Well, for the time being, I'm kind of done for my break. It wasn't that long as I expected to. Like I said, at most it would have only been a month, but as I'm recording this video, it's only been 12 days. So, basically, what was going on is that I thought to myself just this morning, actually, which is why I'm kind of recording this now in the morning. I basically ended up thinking to myself, I'm saying, like, wait a minute, you know, school's starting up soon, you know, obviously because I'm in college now. School's starting up soon, and I need a way of recording videos and stuff and all that fun stuff, so I'm going to just switch around my schedule for a while. I'm not going to go too in detail right now about what my new schedule is. It's still going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like, there's no doubt about that, until I feel stressed out again and can't do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As of right now, it's still Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I have a new way, like a new process that I'm going to experiment with in order to do that schedule. So, I'll jump more into that stuff in a separate video on like a kind of an official I'm back video. But for right now, we are playing Beyond You. I love this game. I don't remember where we actually left off. I think we had just been told that that Kana may or may not have been the reason that the school had burnt down at Minami. So, we are... Oh no, I didn't mean to press that. No, I didn't want to go. New game. No. Okay, here we go. We got this. We got this. Okay. We're back in business. We're at the right file this time. Do you believe... Oh yeah, I remember. This is where we left off too. I've been doing really well with leaving off at like cliffhangers and stuff in this series. It's the best thing ever. Do you believe you're smarter than everyone else? No. Oh, I got a choice. Oh, cool. I probably knew this last time too, but I don't remember this because it's been so long since I've gotten to this point since the last demo that came out. Yes or no? Do you believe you're smarter? Definitely not. Is that it? Is that just... okay. What happens if I chosen yes? I'm kind of curious about that now. You know what? I'm gonna actually go in. I'm gonna load that. I'm gonna find out what exactly that was gonna do if I clicked yes. Absolutely nothing. Wonderful. All right, then in that case, let's go ahead and just continue on, I guess. I slept terribly. Again. It's been harder to sleep lately, almost like I can't switch my brain off. There's no rest or time to unwind. Maybe it's anxiety or something like that. At least I woke up to sunlight and just before my alarm. I tapped on my phone to turn off the buzzer before it went off. I sat up, rubbing at my sleep-ridden eyes, awake against my will. I considered skipping, but I couldn't see that through. I never skipped a class, not even for illness. My parents wouldn't allow it. Haruka, her dad didn't really care as much about her attendance. I wonder if the other girls had strict parents, or strange thoughts to have as I stirred, plodding off to get ready for the day ahead. Also, I apologize if I sound very nasally. Again, this is morning, and in the morning my nose likes to get stuffy, and it's like, what the frick? Aside from history homework, I pushed aside. My coursework was under control. Given that science had been in such a breeze, homework-wise, it'd been easy to stay on top of stuff, which still left my uneasy. I am supposing that's supposed to say me, but that's fine. But Haruka seemed to have adjusted to the other girls. Did she? I'm not really sure about that. I think she's still kind of, you know, a big meanie head. I grabbed my backpack and headed for the front door, pleased I was so ahead of schedule. Oh boy. Ooh, I like the living room. I think we've seen this one before, but, you know, it's still really, really cool to see, because it's just, this is one of those ones that you don't see in any of, like, the other, like, Doki mod stuff you play. So it's like, to see it in a completely separate visual novel is really cool. I love to see artwork from different perspectives. It's amazing. But for all the times Haruka burst in with too much energy, she didn't turn up early today, of course. The one time I've been ready for her to get here, she's late. I checked the time on my phone and looked at the door again, unsure to what to make for her absence. Was she sick? I waited for as long as I was able to, mindful that she could have gone early to save hassling me. Sometimes she did go to school early to run to the track, or... I heaved a sigh, sending a quick text to her to ask if she was okay. Then I took the plunge, nerves building in my stomach. The last time she'd not come to school had been pretty bad. I want to hear about this! Maybe this is good. Haruka and I can get a little too dependent on one another sometimes. It's good to have space. Not to be dependent, I shouldn't need her around, and she shouldn't need me around. Though I'm not sure who needs more of that, who needs more who the most. I never see Haruka talking with other people. Does she even have any other friends? Or am I her only friend? And wait, is she my only friend? No, I just accidentally bumped my mic, and I apologize for that. My ear was itchy. And the girls in science. This is good. Then why does it feel so awful? I sighed, heavily kicking at a rock along the roadside. I needed to stop focusing on Haruka for now. She would be at school, probably just forgetting to see me before she walked the rest of the way. I shouldn't make it out to be worse than it actually is. I had classes to think about, and plenty of new people to talk to. If I focused too much on Haruka, I'd worry, and it'd be the worst for the both of us. Indeed, I would need to make sure that I'm ready for class, and ready to deal with those girls from Minami. There was only a few students milling around outside the school, and I could see a few smoking by the corner of the campus. I avoided eye contact as they shot looks my way. I charged forward to the school grounds, not eager to get into a fight with others. That was more Isla's job. Maybe even Aiko's, not that I'd ever seen her get mad. No, she's smart, okay? But she's not really angry. Like, she's sort of a know-it-all. Like, she's that kind of person, but she's not a jerk or anything like that. I wonder what Kana and Yumi would say about such a thing. The truth was, I hardly knew these girls still. Haruka would have obnoxiously coughed in their direction and flipped them off. It wasn't surprising she got into a lot of fights. I don't know who's more in the right here, though. First class is, a study period. Really? I hadn't checked my timetable too thoroughly, though it didn't matter. Oh, I just squeaked the frick out of that sentence. That's amazing. Even though it's one of those classes one could skip, they still took attendance. Some people studied while the others goofed around. Haruka didn't turn up for homeroom, though maybe she turned up even earlier than me. I am very, very scared right now. I don't know why I'm scared, but bear with me, last time I heard about a student not coming to school one morning, things turned south for everybody. If you don't get that reference, play Doki Doki Literature Club. I didn't actually know what the other girls were in, what class the other girls were in. The question was, how would I use my time? Study in the library, why would I hide in the stairwell? Who am I hiding from? Wait a minute, I'm gonna save this, because what if there's actually different storylines to these different things? Let's hide in the stairwell. Really hoping this isn't copyrighted. I just don't like dealing with with people right now. Maybe I can read at in a stairwell quietly till my next class. This is very loud in my headset though, so I'm going to turn that down just a tad bit. Well, not glamorous, it was the road less traveled. And to my surprise, I wasn't alone. Hunched over the top step with her elbows on her knees was Yumi. And smoke? I blinked twice before I saw the cigarette get butted and tossed. Yumi! How could you? I didn't even have words, which is more her thing. Oh god, I squeaked again. Yumi rolled her eyes and pointed at me, then to her mouth. She mimicked talking with her hand. I won't tell anyone. She shot me an incredulous look and sat back down, her back against the wall and one leg hitched up. She looked at me expectantly before she widened her eyes and gestured in front of her, the flat of her hand upwards. I took a seat at her prompt, mouth pinched shut. I hadn't expected company in here, but then again, Yumi wasn't so bad. Yumi rubbed at her nose, her elbow resting on her knee, and her body language so loose and lazy. I squinted at her. Oh god, she looks very, very angry. Suspicious of what she was smoking, but failed to catch my look. Or she didn't care. Instead, she waved a hand at me as if prompting me for information. I wanted to go somewhere quiet, to wait for class to start. Yumi mimicked a book opening and thumbed in the direction of the library. I didn't want to be around people. I mean, people I don't know, or people I don't want to be around. I guess that means I want to be around you, yes? Yumi put a hand against her chest as if touched by my words. I, on the other hand, noticed that she did have a feminine curve despite the uniform. Her uniform was oversized and hid most of her away. but she was hardly shy, quite by necessity, but not quite as a person. She was actually very loud if you paid attention. She tucked a hand beneath her chin and dug in her jacket pocket, and out came her notebook, a pen, and a pen to match. You're not subtle. I do have breasts, what a twist. I scrunched my face up at her, I don't know why I had to pronounce that. Her nose wrinkled up and lips pouted. I wasn't staring. Yuri incredulously nodded, wide-eyed and annoyed. You're the one who's making dirty jokes all the time. Rather than respond, Yumi regressed. She went quiet, no movements, no gestures. She just sat, staring down the stairwell like she could see something that I couldn't. Yumi? She came too, turning to look at me with keen attention. Did I do something wrong? You're fine one second, then hostile the next. A pang of sadness seems to wash over her face, but it's lost immediately. She snatched up the notebook and gave it a long, thoughtful look. I sat patiently, thankful the smell of smoke had dissipated. Please don't pretend to care about me. I know you don't. You'll get it. Give it time. Spent time with Kana or Haruka, anyone else. She tossed the pen down alongside the notepad, her fur scrunched against her mouth. What? Hold on, what happened to being, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? She was very happy all of a sudden. Now she's like, nobody cares about me. What? That took a very, very serious turn. Her gaze returned to the bottom of the stairwell, and I love this too because this is actually something that wasn't in the first demo, so this is all new to me. Her gaze returned to the bottom of the stairwell. I watched Yumi closely as if I could gain insight from looking at her. She looked uncomfortable and out of place. It could be the concrete or the stairwell itself. It was enclosed and sterile. I came here because it was unpleasant to spend time in. I nudged her foot with mine to get her attention back. I don't want to pry, but what caused all this? You seemed happy the other... Yeah, exactly! You seemed happy the other day. Not that you've been happy... Not that you have to be happy all the time. Yumi shot a weak smile towards me, a weight to her lids that hadn't been there before. She picked up her pen reluctantly. Moving was rough, that's all. Things were simpler when I had less to think about. She gestured loosely with her hand, though I didn't know what hold on. What did I say? What that meant. Okay, I thought... I'm reading things very quickly for some reason. I don't know why. You mean it was easier when we were younger? She nodded, rubbing a hand against the back of her neck. The notepad remained on her lap. She flashed it after a few seconds of scrawling. It's easier when you know less about the world, less about hurt. We sat in mutual silence, the time almost audible as it ticked away. She was the one to break the silence, snapping her fingers loudly. She pulled out a piece of paper from her blazer and scrawled a note to go along with it. Some girl put this on my desk by mistake. Stay in your lane, or at least do us all a favor and help Ayla. Or Isla. She handed it off to me and got to her feet. Any conversation I hoped to have died as she lit up another cigarette. I scoffed, lowered my throat. She failed to notice, or failed to care. The note was from Yumi, of course, but the paper... It was a printout of an article that I'd not seen before. I looked over it. The words, like, epithets on a tombstone. Minami School. 2 dead and 1 unconscious, 1 missing. I looked at Yumi, who looked back in a shrug. She pointed at herself, wagged a finger, and then to her eyes. So you didn't read it, but someone gave this to you? She nodded, making a C shape with her hand, and then a P by curling her fingers against her index finger. The cigarette remained balanced between her knuckles precariously. CP, class president. Ayla? Her eyes widened as if to ask, why do you repeat everything I say, but nodded for effects. I looked back to the article, skimming the details. There weren't many. Several year 11s were injured in a fire. Before the fire, the girl went missing. Not much was given in that section. Ooh. Is that Kana? The next wasn't so forgiving. 1 girl was burnt alive, but had been burning longer than the second body. Her bones were deeper, darker in color. They warped from the heat, but hard. I'm assuming that was supposed to say they were warped. As moisture was drawn from the bone, it lost its structure. The fire must have been above 1,000 degrees. The bones reduced to little more than just bone ash and malformed remains. By the time the fire died, the body was left bare. They neglected to pursue further her cause of death. The second body was of a girl, they believe, who was rapidly mummified by the heat. She was less similar to Jerky. The stench clung to the school grounds and to those who survived it. The last girl, the one known to survive, had passed out from the smoke and... Oh, so she's not dead? Oh yeah, because it said one. I think it's like 2 dead, one like in pain or something like that. I don't know. And then 1 was missing. Had passed out from the smoke inhalation. It was a miracle she'd remained otherwise untouched by the heat. It was said that she watched her friend burn. The skin and their skin slew off and their muscles popped free. I watched Yumi draw another mouthful of smoke. Her absent attention pointed downwards. Were you at the school when it happened? I watched her exhale the smoke, and as she pretended not to hear my question, she looked at her cigarette, then at me. There was little going on behind her eyes. If she had any thoughts to share, she kept them well hidden, or maybe she just didn't care. Her face split into a smile as she rolled her eyes. She pointed at me and mimed crying. She laughs that broken, heavy laugh. It's sad, Yumi. People died. I grinned back through my annoyance. She could flip so carelessly between serious and light. I'm trying to be nice here. She waved a hand before she saw the cigarette, though, tapping the ash off. She flicked the butt away. She yanked me to my feet with ease, her hand in mine. It's strange to have to look up to a girl. Usually they're shorter than me, or at least close to my height, like Haruka. The light cast around her head like a halo, her face in shadow. Our hands came apart without much thought, and we stood facing one another. Her gaze never broke from me, her eyes alight even with the shadows. She shifted, one eyebrow raised as she lifted her head. I opened my mouth to speak, and the bell rang. She knocked her knuckle under my chin, gently, and walked past me to go up the stairs. I watched, aware now that the paper she had handed me was gone. I looked around at my feet and my pocket. It was as if I'd never been given it to me in the first place. But I hadn't imagined it. I couldn't have. I headed towards my first class of the day, as uncertain as I had been before. I had finally found Haruka by the start of our second period class, but she was quiet. I didn't press her on why she failed to turn up this morning, as I figured that she'd tell me if she wanted to. Instead, we sat through class, joking a little less than usual. It wasn't until the bell rang for lunch that she had seemed to come alive again. I wish math didn't exist. I mean, it doesn't? Or does it? Don't be a nerd. A lot of people have theorized about whether or not math is real. Don't start. She laughed and shoved me into good nature. You don't have to take math, you know. But you were taking it. But I enjoy math. You, on the other hand, I wanted to be with you. It's not that much, but I like being in classes with you. Even if you fail them? I don't fail them at them. I just don't do so good. Which is fine, because I'm with you. She split off for the track field again, and I let her go. I never wanted to crowd her or demand she stay by my side. She had her own interests and hobbies, and I had lunch to eat. I already ate. Oh, that's Kana. I already ate. One muffin isn't a meal, Kana. Oh, hello, Devin. Would you like to join us for lunch? I brought extra, and Yumi usually eats, but I haven't seen her. I saw her earlier today. I neglected to mention I'd seen her smoking earlier than the stairwell. Oh, I'm sure she's fine then. Maybe she's busy. In any case, I have food and it needs to be eaten. With that, Aiko walked over to an empty table to unpack the bento box from her backpack. She pulled out 2 decent-sized boxes, filled with rice balls, dumplings, and an assortment of fish and vegetables. Kana stared at the food, then at Aiko. Where's the sweets, huh? She picked up from the one from the of the inari and stuffed it into her mouth. You get what you get, Kana. I'm surprised you don't have a packed lunch given. She looked at Kana. I have one, but it's really boring. Like all the vegetables and She paused to meet my eye. Aiko and I were the weirdo rich kids at Minami. No one called us weirdos. Kana raised an eyebrow at her and her arms crossed on the table in front of her. Maybe not to your face, but they called me a weirdo all the time. Aiko resisted a retort just barely. She shot a sidelong glance at me, nervous in her place. You volunteered to tutor delinquents for your free time. That's pretty weird. It's the additional credits, and your dad works with my dad. What does that have to do with anything? Kana shrugged at her shoulder, her arms still crossed. People were nice to you for the same reasons they were nice to me. Expensive birthday presents, free lift homes, helicopter rides. Helicopter rides? That's out of the ordinary. She snorted loudly. Free food? Aiko pulled her bentos closer protectively. People were nice to me because I was nice. And people weren't that mean to you, people weren't that mean to you, were they? Kana shot Aiko an incredulous look. Kana reminds me of Natsuki. I don't know why, but like literally, she has kind of the same demeanor. People were nice to me, barely. I had to be a bitch to get them to respect me, though. People like eat you alive if you're nice. She grabbed another Inari, stuffing the whole thing to her mouth. I think you can win over by being nice. Not that you should win people over. It is an expression. She exhaled, looking at me for support. So people treated you both differently because you were rich? Minami School wasn't illustrated by any means. It was actually quite crappy. Aiko, shot Kana, and annoyed looked. It was a lower income school. My parents sent me there in lieu of a private school as we had family ties to it. My mother went there and she learned many things within the school. They didn't want me to be spoiled or something like that. They wanted me to get by on my own merit. And I transferred here. Aiko shot Kana a concerned look. I was let go from the school I attended. I didn't even do anything wrong. Our parents were friends, so they recommended that Kana join me, as I was doing well. Sorry, I mixed up the voices a little bit there. I apologize for that. Kana toyed with the chopstick as we each worked through the box lunches. Why'd you get kicked out? Oh, okay, we're gonna save. I guess we don't have to save because I'm almost certain that they're gonna ask us to just kind of go along with it. Why'd you get kicked out? Why'd you get kicked out? They found that I'd been attending therapy. Her jaw tightened around her words, and her head twitched subtly. I didn't do anything bad either. I was just seeing someone about some stuff. You shouldn't get kicked out for asking for help. It's bullcrap. Kana. It is, though. That school sucked anyway. Everyone was so stuck up. But I joined a class in year 11, and I knew no one. Just Aiko. I made like 2 other friends, but even then, doesn't even matter. I'm gonna get out of school and learn psychology and help people. Brain stuff! Make sure people can get help. Aiko cleared her throat softly and sent us each a smile. We ate in easy silence for a while, with the occasional comment about the quality of the food Aiko had brought. But I felt the question chew at my brain. Brain! Were either of you there for the fire? You don't have to answer, but I looked at them both, my elbow set on the edge of the table. I had been there during the week and on the same day, but I don't remember the fire. You probably repressed it, or, She blinked before her eyes shut. She reopened them, uncertain for a moment, and then focused on me. I don't think we should talk about that. Ooh, that does not sound okay. That leads me more to believe that she actually did it. I shrugged a shoulder, my hands raised to concede defeat. I wasn't asking to be rude. But it is rude. We aren't here to be interrogated, even if you have good intentions. We deserve better than that. We went through a lot. That's starting to sound like you're hiding something, Kana. The unflinching eye contact was enough to push my gaze away as I took my final piece of salmon. I looked at Kana, unsure why she'd slid into such a defensive stance. She altered between sweet and strict rapidly. I know exactly why. Well, I think I know exactly why. Her voice sounded off, unlike the girl who'd spoken earlier. Ooh. That's even more evidence. The bell sounded and lunch ended. Aiko and Kana waved and split off into their afternoon classes. Oh, I can already tell. I'm actually really, really scared how close I'm. I have no idea, like, I've been reading up a lot on just kind of, what this game is going to turn into, whether it's going to take a turn and become a whole nother Doki Doki Literature Club where things go wrong, and I don't know. Like, as soon as we jump into it, like, we're already starting to get some really creepy, stuff where it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. Let's rear off, because I don't want you to find out what I actually did. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but, it seems like there's more and more evidence leading to the fact that Kana actually did do something. That's just kind of scary to think about, because, like, what happens when, like, if we actually do find out, like, what's gonna happen? Is the game gonna restart? Is somebody gonna be deleted from the files or something like that? Like Doki Doki Literature Club? I don't know. All these different, things are kind of, coming up, and it's like, that's all you can really think about when you're at this point in the game, where it's like, oh, things are taking a turn, just flow, just go with the flow, take the ride, and if things go bad, then you know what, you decide to play this. But I think I am gonna leave it here, though, and again, for how short this video is, I will explain that, in its own separate video. But for right now, I am going to leave this here. I'm really, really enjoying this game. It's amazing. I almost said mod, but this is not a mod. This is an entire game itself, and I love it, and it's amazing. But nonetheless, all good times have to come to an end eventually. For now, at least. And I'm not. Obviously, it's not the end of the game yet, but I have no idea how close we're even getting to the end. But nonetheless, this is the end of the video. So, guys, Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I'd love it as a channel, guys. We've got a Discord. Come check me out outside of YouTube. It's got a fun time for all. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. And hope you guys in my next one. Goodbye!